guys, welcome back. Let's take a look at the charts together. Let's start off looking at Ethereum without any drawings on the charts. We'll start off in the 24-hour time frame. Look at that nice clean view compared to what we normally have. In fact, let's just look at that as a starting point and try and build up a picture from this before we put all of the noise back onto the charts. I'm Rocky Outcrop. I really appreciate you joining me for this video today. Behind me, that is Coriander and that is Basil, and I will be eating some of them at some point soon. And other things which have not actually got to do with this chart, which I'd like to throw out there, are that have you ever been trading VET, VE chain, and wondered about what this VTHO token is and how the dynamics work there and what that coin and that cryptocurrency is really about and what they're doing in the world? Well, there's a really good video that I'd like to recommend. It's going to pop up there as a card, and it's by TradeSpot, and check it out. You'll enjoy it. It explains a cryptocurrency. It's actually a decent explainer video, a 10-minute explainer video, which actually leaves you understanding something, which is quite rare in this crypto world, what we live in. So, right, great. Oh, and I was going to throw it as well. Shout out to Dan from the Chart Guys, who, whatever. So great. Anyway, decent guy. So, yeah, nice one. Let's take a look at the charts. So what we're looking at here, well, we've got this upward trend, right? This is upward trend, which is coming from the 14th of March, 13th, whatever, Friday the 13th of March. Come on all the way up here. And during this upward trend, we've had times where the prices have come down towards the lower side here, such as when we came up towards the 220 price point, then came all the way back down towards the 200 simple at 174. Significant terms of in terms of the movements here in the prices. That's a solid 20 to 25% drop off in prices, depending on how you were trading that one. And it looked like it was trending towards the downside. Then we came in afterwards and we got a marginal higher high in here compared to this one over here. But this would have been the actual high, and it was like an equal high or maybe even slightly lower. And it came in, and what did it do though? Then afterwards it put in a higher low, and then that was when the trend was able to continue then towards the top side thereafter. What have we done in this chunk of time? This is not me doing a fractal, by the way. This is just me purely looking at the price action. I don't look at fractals. But what we've done afterwards is not that dissimilar overall in terms of the price movements and the psychology of things. Fractal lovers out there will be looking at things like this high and this slightly lower high and saying, but that's just the same as that, Rocky. And they'll be looking at this shape of, say, this sort of drop-off period here or perhaps here or something, and saying that that's this bit or perhaps this bit. Let's not do that overall, because if you wanted to do that fractal style stuff, then what you'd have to admit is that this high here this low here was a higher low compared to over here, and what we have here is a lower low, and the beat just simply continues on. So there is a danger here, and instead what we can do is look towards the left and say, well, hey, if the prices were to drop down below that 215 level where we had our high over here, then I think that from the bigger point of view, the bigger picture, we could be looking at a change in the whole dynamic and on a more macro view if we go down below those prices there, which could spell movements down again, for instance, towards the 200 simple down here at 185 or 189 or so. These sorts of things. Looking at the VPVR on the right, you can see that there's a drop off that leads right to this area. So if this increase on the VPVR here doesn't satisfy enough in terms of catching the price action, as it has done recently in terms of this wick here, as you can see on the 27th of June, then serious questions need to be asked. All of that sort of stuff. And if we did drop then on beyond that area, and you went down towards the next peak here at $203, interestingly not at $200, but at areas either side of $200. Just I like to point that out in terms of this being an Ethereum with its psychological round number of 200. You'd think it was, but it's more like 203 or 198. And then after that, it would drop right off again. And where does it kick back in again? All the way down here at the 170s, so there could be some dynamics there. And if we just put the price action, all of the drawings we've got on the charts back on again, I know, a lot of mess, I know, but we can check in with our pals and say, this guy here, he's been keeping an eye out for us in this zone and saying, are we breaking out or are we fake? Are we faking or are we breaking out? And I think if we were to reintegrate the chat we had before with all of the different dynamics and the stuff that we've drawn on the charts here, you could see the 236 coming in at 215, where we have this previous high here on the charts is going to be a significant area. Again, as well, you've got this downward sloping channel we were in relatively for a short period of time. I could take off these lines. I probably will in the next day or two, but you know, you could be looking towards that and saying, well, if we break down below that area, that's another sort of point of confluence in and around this line here. And we can also be looking at other things like this. We just see this more deeper purple here color running along horizontally, and this downward sloping area here. You could say that maybe we're in a descending triangle, and that beat just continues on the way at the minute. Looking towards then, if we want to change the picture towards the positive, you've got a couple of targets. 230 being your most obvious one here, with 21 EMA coming in, 50 simple EMA coming in there, and of course, you know, that would be slightly higher than the previous low, which is in there. Just hide all that. You know, that would be slightly higher than over here if you came into 230. Then, of course, looking up towards, you know, 235 and the 240 area to try and kind of actually move towards the upside. But really, you'd need to be getting the prices. We need to be moving up into the higher 240s and then 250s area in order to change around this picture, so that we could have what we see here for all the fractal lovers out there in the world, where you'd be looking at something where you'd be moving up past the previous area, which was clearly resistance, which we can clearly draw in there and around that area just there. Putting all the drawings back on, you can see that there's a rectangle. If it, you know, it'll sort itself out in time. Come on, come on, come on. Then you'd be looking to that 250 area, and you can see why all of this kind of makes a bit more sense. That's going to do. I think it's pretty good video, you know, to be perfectly frank with you all out there. I think that's what you need to know to look at the price action here and hopefully make your own independent decisions. I'm trying to help people here and on the channel on a daily basis become independent traders that can realize their own ambition, and their own ambition is not to actually have somebody spoon feed them the price action. Their ambition truly, if you want to be a trader, is to be able to be self-reliant. So hopefully I'm helping to foster that feeling within yourself, and you can kind of develop these skills yourself over time. And that's what the idea behind starting off with nothing on the chart here and then putting it back on was today. All right, again, if you've made it through to this area of the video, 3 things. 1, trade spotting video, very, very good. 2, hit that subscribe button. And 3, come back again tomorrow because we do these videos daily. Thank you so much. I'll catch you in the next one.